Good evening here on the eve of Youth Work Week 2016. I thought I'd do a video before we start a week of celebrations for youth work. And I know quite a few people will be thinking, this whole week for youth work. I think here we are in 2016, and if ever we need to promote and celebrate our work as youth workers, as people in the community, it's now. All too often, the first thing that's getting cut these days is the youth services. And there's a lot of change that's happened throughout the history of youth work, and to be able to come along and celebrate it, promote what we're doing, and really kind of fight and show that youth work is something that's needed, especially more than ever now. So this year's theme is fair chances, how youth work helps young people to brighter futures. And this theme for me this year is really quite a personal one. I think obviously youth work, for anyone who knows me, youth work is my life and changed my life. And if it wasn't for youth work, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here today being able to conduct these videos. I may have not been the best young person at school, and for me the youth club, kind of at the age of 14 when I first made contact with the youth club, was certainly a changing point for me. It was a turning point. Not only was it a safe environment for me to go into, but it actually took me away from the groups of friends I was kind of starting to hang around with. So the youth club gave me an opportunity to stay in a safe, and in the winter, a warm environment. Anyone that's been out the last couple of days will know how cold it is, and especially in the winter months, hanging around on the estates isn't really a safe, nice environment for any young person. So the opportunity to just have a youth club open its doors and allow me to come in and just be myself. I was confused. I didn't know what I was. I was angry. I was quite loud. I was quite boisterous. But the youth workers kind of just allowed me to be me. It was a safe environment where I was just able to kind of go along and do what I wanted within reason. If I wanted to play football, I could. If I wanted to play table tennis, I could. Certain nights we would cook. Some nights we'd just sit and watch the TV. Sit around and watch the TV. But like I said, it was a warm, safe environment. And youth work's been going on like this for years. The generic youth work of just opening a building door and allowing people to come in. And if you look back into the history of youth work, quite a lot, it kind of stems from maybe the churches doing Sunday schools, the first kind of recognized youth organization, the YMCA, who still play a big part now, even down to today, delivering fantastic training programs and qualifications in youth work. There's a lot of uniform groups that are doing fantastic work. And youth work comes in all shapes and sizes. It's not just opening the doors to a youth club. It could be out on the road. It could be within schools. It could be within these uniform groups. It doesn't just have one specific spot. It's everywhere. Youth work is everywhere. But what is youth work? I suppose it's kind of an informal education. It's typically young people from the ages of 11 to 25, working with them in an informal environment. So whilst youth work can take place in schools, it is typically something that's happened outside of school in the young people's environment. So kind of going into their areas, looking at where they go into their comfort zones to be able to work with these young people. So this year is, like I said, the year of fair chances, how youth work helps young people to a brighter future. And like I said, if it wasn't for youth work, I certainly wouldn't be sat here now. So for me, this week is quite an important week that we celebrate and promote what we do. So I'd like for everyone to just join in recognizing and acknowledging the work that anyone has done for you as a young person, or now you as an adult for other young people that you're doing. Because it takes a community to kind of raise a child. And I think nowadays the communities are quite segregated, so to be able to kind of work with young people and support them and give them the confidence that they need, it's a lot harder in this day and age. Now you've got social media, technology now is so involved in young people's lives. You've got 5-year-olds knowing how to work iPhones and work the Sky TV box, and growing up I didn't have any of that, so I didn't have to be hidden behind a laptop. I had to go out to see my friends. We laugh and joke. My colleague and I were laughing and joking the other day about the fact that over the summer holidays you'd say goodbye, and unless you had money for the phone box, you wouldn't see your friends for a couple of weeks at a time. You might arrange to meet up once or twice, but that was it. Whereas now, every 2 seconds, the young people are on their phones, they're in contact through this kind of technological world. So how are we as a community supporting young people to build that self-esteem and that resilience that comes with some of these additional pressures to just growing up as well. So there's a lot of kind of need for youth work and for people to be supporting young people. And over the next week, I'm going to be looking at some of the topics that are coming up within this and having discussions and inviting you to leave comments below and get the conversation started. Let's get the ball rolling. How are we supporting our young people? How are we giving them a fair chance to a brighter future? So my question to you is, what are you doing in your community or in your world? It could be your own children, it could be your nieces, your nephews, it could be anybody. What are you doing to enable the young people with a fair chance to help these young people to brighter futures? Thank you. Good night.